we rarely talk about people who overstayed their visa. Because some of us, we don't know this, but they actually exist. There are people in this country who overstayed their visa, therefore they have no options. So we think, okay? Now, I think they have options. They have very, very limited options. Before we even go to these options, it's good to remember that the best way to survive in America is not to overstay your visa. Those days when we first came to America, we did not have enough knowledge about our options. But now we have enough information that actually, if you do not have options, you go back home. But if you want to stay, you have options. And always they look at the intent. Obviously, you cannot come saying that you're coming for a visit, but you have other plans. They look at the intent. But having said that, do not overstay your visa. Always look for those options. It's much easier that way. But let's assume you're one of those people listening to me and you overstayed your visa. What can you do? Okay, now, I went to school for this. And what they told us in class is to talk to clients that going back is an option. Going back home is an option. And I used to think, you think so? But guess what? I came to realize it's actually an option. Because you just fear going home. But if you go home with dollars, you might get your freedom back. I don't think being here without papers is any kind of freedom. So that is the first option, which we covered in class. And so it's better that I tell you that's what I read in class. Now, for those who are here and they get married legitimately is the correct word. Yes, you can file for a green card. However, you cannot break the law and get away with that. Therefore, the lawyer has to file something we call a waiver. The way you want to look at a waiver is forgiveness. You understand? So you broke the law. So you sinned. Therefore, you must ask for forgiveness. And there are two kinds of waivers. The first kind of waiver is that person who did the right thing, went to the embassy, asked for a visa, got the visa, traveled to the United States, came to the port of entry, and was given permission to come inside. So far, so good, until they decided to overstay their I-94. I-94 is the entry departure record. For example, you come in on a visit visa, they give you 6 months, that is your I-94 record, okay? You're supposed to only stay 6 months. If you overstay those 6 months, it doesn't matter if your visa was 3 years or 5 years, you have broken the law. So such people, they came the right way, but they broke the law once they arrived in the United States. That waiver, if you marry American, you can process that within the United States. Meaning, you can now ask for a green card within the United States. On the other hand, there are these people who never went to the embassy. They found themselves here by land, by air, by sea, I don't know how. Okay? Those ones were not invited. They crashed the party without any invitation. So they are here illegally. They are not here legally at all. If they marry American, legitimately, again, that is the key word, then their waiver will have to undergo what we call consular processing. Meaning they have to go outside America, okay, and go get a green card from outside. But before the previous administration left, they had offered to have those waivers within the United States. I've not caught up with that, but that's what I know. So if you hear someone has to do consular processing, it means they exit, go do the right thing, because you didn't do the right thing the first time. So you have to go and fix that, okay? All right? Okay. This is not lawyer advice, but you are getting an idea on how to find the lawyer and what to do next, okay? All right. So marriage, yes, it's an option if you have undergone any form of abuse, not any form of abuse, and you have evidence, pictures of abuse, hospital records, real, you can't just go making up stuff, and because you need a green card, now you go making up stuff and punishing someone like your spouse. Yes, there is violence against women, okay? That one you can file if you have evidence that actually you are abused. And by the way, if you marry an American and you are abused and you don't feel safe, you can always file for a green card alone. Again, you need evidence. You must have evidence. You cannot make up things. That I can't stress this enough. Okay, you must have evidence for you to claim these things. So VAWA, violence against women, okay, that is one avenue to get a green card. Okay, there's another green card we call a U visa. U visa meaning you helped the United States, maybe the police, to solve a crime. Okay, maybe you saw something happened, you reported, and you went to the police and they wrote a report and said, guess what, you are a very good citizen, you've helped them to solve a crime. Yes, the police can write for you paperwork, and yes, you can qualify for a U visa. And all these things I'm saying, they take time, they take years. There's nothing easy, my friends. Okay, there's nothing easy. Now, I've come across people who tell me they don't have papers, but they managed to go to school, and especially they did nursing. If you're one of those people who did that, even if you didn't do nursing, consider, the first one I say consider going home, but you can also consider Canada. Okay, now, again, we don't advise people on exit strategies. You must find a lawyer, and I don't even think a lawyer will tell you, I don't know, that is a risk to take. Because once you leave the American borders, who will let you in? You can't go blaming people. But I had this, but I had this. No. Okay? But right now, I can tell you Canada is looking for nurses, and usually they can process your paper very fast, okay, very quickly. And then you can now move to Canada yourself and your family. Same quality of life, almost the same pay. So if you compare your lifestyle here in America, where you do not have a life, where you do not have freedom, where you do not have papers, I would rather go to Canada and get my freedom back. And if you have family from here in America, they can visit you. Okay? That is also an option that people don't consider very seriously. Obviously, you must make sure you've done all your papers very well. You've gotten them, and now you are ready to go. If you have any other ways that people can help themselves, please share in the comment section, but they are not easy by all means. Let me repeat myself. The best way to have a good life in America is to take the difficult route of doing the right thing. Sometimes we rush into things because we've been influenced by other people, because we think we'll save money, because we think we can get away with it, or because we think we'll get Kemboy. It's not that easy. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, bye-bye.